Have you ever said yes to something you didn't want to just to avoid an awkward conversation? Or felt so drained because someone's constant needs kept you pushed to the edge? Boundaries aren't just about saying no, they are more about saying yes to ourselves. In today's episode, we are going to deep dive into the art of setting boundaries. How we set them, why we need them, what are boundaries, and how can they not just only transform your relationship with others, but with yourself as well. So, let's get started. Hi, my name is Neetu, and welcome to my channel, Understanding Her. This is a safe space where we talk about becoming the best version of ourselves by focusing on mindset building, lifestyle, self care, and everything that makes you you. The first question: what are boundaries? Okay, so boundaries are these invisible fences that protect your mental, your physical, and your emotional well being. Think of them as your personal guidebook to what is acceptable in your life and what is not. So, if I compare it to cell membranes, so our cells are designed in such a way that they accept only the things that they need and reject all that we don't need. So, these are basically semi permeable boundaries. So think of boundaries like those semi permeable boundaries that only accept or that only allow things, people, behaviors in your life that you actually want and can accept, and reject all those behaviors or people or things or events or situations that you don't want those things in your life. These boundaries are not about keeping people out, but they are about building healthier relationships where your needs and your limits are being respected. Here's a takeaway: boundaries aren't these walls that we put around ourselves to block people. These are actually the bridges that allow healthier conversation or healthier relationships with people, which is rooted in mutual respect and trust. But then, why boundaries are so hard to set when these are so helpful for us? This is because many of us fear rejection or judgment from other people. So we just let them do what they want to do, and even if that is not good for us, that is not healthy for us, we avoid rejections and judgments and allow all sort of behaviors in our life. So this is one of the reason why it is so hard to set boundaries. Second is that some of us were even taught as a child to put others' needs over our own, and that becomes a behavior, a brain wiring. In some of the cases or situations, we don't even realize that we need to set a boundary until it reaches at that stage that it's too overwhelming and it's suffocating, that you just bust out and then block everyone. So if this sounds familiar with you, don't worry, we have solutions coming up. Here are a few red flags to know that, okay, now I need to set a boundary. First one is that when you feel too resentful. Second, you realize that you are saying too much yes to things that you don't even want to do. Or maybe when you first said yes because you thought that you wanted to do, but now after being in those situations or being around those people, feel so drained that you feel like that you don't have energy. If you are avoiding situations or conversations with certain people, if any of these hit home, You need to tune up your boundaries. It happens to everyone, no big deal. I know setting boundaries is such a difficult task, saying no, setting rules with people when you have been saying yes for a very long time. It feels like we need to put so much energy to do that. But trust me, once you start doing that, it will completely change your life and you will love yourself more by doing this. This has happened to me as well so many times. I have been a person to whom if someone would come and ask for any sort of help, I would try to resolve that person's problem by going beyond my own resources, my own limits, and that has drained me. At some point I had this realization that this is not working out for me, like this is not good for me, like why am I putting myself second to fulfill someone else's need? Who will help me if I will not help myself? So this realization changed everything for me. I learned that boundaries aren't selfish, they are basically self love in action. So start setting boundaries. Don't hesitate to do that. Okay, so how do you set boundaries without feeling guilty or awkward? Let me help you with this. Maybe just go back into your past where you felt like go back into your past means in your memories, not the time machine. Obviously, we don't have that. Ask yourself, what makes me feel disrespected? What makes me feel drained? What situations, what people are making me feel drained or disrespected? What are the behaviors that I have accepted till now? But I really wanted to say that, I can't deal with this person or I don't want to deal with you. So reflect on that, reflect on those memories, journal about it, write it down. Second, communicate clearly and calmly. This is not a fight, this is not a war. We are here telling others that this is something that I can accept and this is something I won't. And hence, these statements, while you're setting boundaries, are supposed to be about you, not about others. It's not about blaming, it's about stating that what I want, what my need is, what I can accept. Make sure to use I statements instead of you statements. Here's an example. Let's suppose you are in a heated conversation with someone and that person raises voice at you. You can use two type of statements and judge for yourself which one is better. Either you can say that you always shout at me when we are having an argument and that will only backfire at you. Or the next statement that you can use is I am ready to have this conversation with you. I also want to resolve this. I will have this conversation when you can talk to me calmly and with respect. That's it. That's it. Which one is better? Obviously, I want because it's not a blame, it's just stating what you want. The third and most important point is you need to stick to your boundaries. Because if you won't respect your own boundaries, your own statements, your own needs that you said that I want this, and then you accept whatever other person give you, then you didn't respect your own boundary. Why would you expect others to do it? And by action mean what do you want to do about it when that boundary is not being respected? You wanna don't have conversation with this person, maybe you don't wanna uh, that person is really close to you and you don't want to talk about that topic anymore. That's also a boundary setting with action. You don't have to block all the people all the time when the boundary is not respected. The action is yours to take. It's not just about setting boundaries, it's about enforcing them. Let's get real. Some people will respect your boundaries and some might push back. Some might test your limits, test your patience. But remember, boundaries aren't about controlling others. It's about finding our own peace, respecting our own peace, protecting our own peace. And here's the best part. The right people will respect your boundary. They will accept that you have a need and that needs to be fulfilled. The ones who will not accept your boundaries are just revealing that they were benefiting by not having a boundary. So that shows how important it was to set a boundary. People who set boundaries actually win because they get their needs met at anyhow. They know what they want and they know how to get it. Let me share some examples of boundary settings in different areas of life. The work boundary would look like I am happy to take this extra work to help my team, but I have some plans this time, so I will be able to pick it at X or Y day or time if that works for you. You got an invitation from family or friends to attend a party and you are not feeling that socially charged to actually go there. So instead of pushing you to go there, you can set a boundary by just saying that I'm not feeling like going there. You don't need to explain too much while setting boundaries. That's another rule. See how none of these boundaries were rude or disrespectful. These were clearly stating your needs. That's it. Boundaries aren't about building distance, they are about creating healthier relationship and a stronger you. They are a way of saying that I value myself enough to express my own needs and I value you enough to be honest about them. Here's the challenge for the week. Reflect on any one area of your life where you're feeling too drained or stretched too thin and see what kind of see if you need to set a boundary there and take that first step. Remember, setting boundaries are an act of love towards yourself and towards those around you. Thanks for listening to today's episode, and if you find it helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye for now.